Hey guys, what's going on? It's a Blockbull right back now, bringing you the latest episode to the channel. Now today we're going to look at three cryptos in particular. The reason being, I believe these are probably the three hardest hitters to become, simply because they move in vertical lines when they get going. I would like to include Ward's Pay in this, but I've literally just covered it in the previous episode. However, the three cryptos that we will be covering today is Gala, and we will be also covering the two blockchains built on Stellar Lumens, which is Stronghold, SHX, the ticker symbol, and we will also be discussing Velo as well, one of the fan favourites in the crypto community. So without further ado, this is Gala, ladies and gentlemen. Now we have got this first red trend line, so we're marking one peak, two peak, we've had a fake peak here, breakout, come back down to retest, and you can see here we've created this sort of wedge sort of pattern, which seems to be the common theme across the crypto industry. However, there's a lot more decline on this wedge than, say, for example, some other crypto tokens. But if you just take a picture of this now, take a picture of that. Now look at the similarities from this here, these trend lines. We've literally had one touch. You could argue there's been two or three touches with these other two wicks here, but ultimately, looking at the weekly closes. Now, have a look at the comparison. Let's go over to Velo. Yeah, let's scroll out here and zoom in ultimately. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can speed up the zoom. If I click on that, usually it speeds it up a bit. Right. Let me in. Look at this. This is how, man. This is what I'm talking about now with Velo. We broke out and we've literally had one touch. So it's pretty identical to me in terms of price, where we've got this sort of steep wedge going on here. Breakout, retest. There's no messing about whatsoever. Breakout, retest. And I expect Velo to go absolutely wild here. You know, I was talking about support up here. Obviously, I've deleted the TA that I did have, but I did sell up here around 2.8. I literally sold the wick, believe it or not. I did cover that in the video as well. I said, look, I'm getting out here, and obviously I was looking at this sort of structure here. I thought Velo would bounce around here, but obviously, you know, Velo's decided to drop deeper, but that's fine. It's a really healthy correction for Velo, and the deeper we fall, the more we are going to increase in value in the next move. So yes, it may be a negative, that the fact that there's a lot of people in drawdown right here. However, if you are patient and you're willing to hold the bag, then you will be rewarded handsomely, I tell you that. Now let's just go back over to Gala as well. So look at the state of this. Like Gala again is just looking fantastic. We also dropped deeper as well. You could have argued, you know, this sort of significant price action here for me would have caught the price, but obviously we've dropped deeper as well. So even if we just do a measure move here on Gala, so if we take, I'll even go from the wick there on the bottom. Again, we bring up the 50% mark to the top of this recent interim high. We're looking at a 470% move next time out, which would be this. I love it when all the TA aligns, because this here, I'll just mark out where the price would get to around this sort of area. So you can see how that wick there, that ran into resistance before this next massive green impulse candle absolutely obliterated the resistance, flipped in support here where we've gone to retest. So this sort of region in here is absolutely crucial. So I believe Gala is going to bounce off the tip of this wedge, and our first sort of interim target is going to be around 15 cent. Now let's take a look in terms of, let's have a look. I'm going to just measure up there. So yeah, you've got the 440% increase. Now, Gala could just do something similar to what it did before and not even respect the resistance line here and just fly absolutely obliterated. And we did that within the space of 2 weeks. So the bull market could be pretty much here any week now. And if it was to do that, imagine if Gala got up there, and there's every chance we can get up here. I'll be looking at these two weekly closes here. Obviously, you get the weekly close there, and then obviously a rejection down here. But even if we're just targeting that highest weekly close, and we're not even going to the wick, you're looking at 2,400% returns. Now, that is significant. Again, I want to reiterate, Gala only moves in vertical lines. So once it does it, it literally takes only a couple of weeks here, as previous historical data has shown. 1 week, 2 week, boom, we've travelled up 2,400%. Now let's just have a look at the returns here. So that was 800%. Obviously, we're starting from higher up. We're actually lower in terms of price action. Not much lower, but you can see how much returns difference there is. So from the section here where price is currently trading up to this weekly close, we're looking at 2,400%. Now, previously, we actually took a move here. And even if I was to go to the wick as opposed to the close where this other is, it's only 660% here. We're looking at even bigger gains. And there's still a chance that we can exceed all-time highs and go a lot higher, even maybe, challenge $1. So Gala is looking absolutely phenomenal, guys. Alt season is almost here. As soon as that ETF goes live in the next couple of weeks, we are off to the market. I'm telling you now, I am absolutely buzzing for this. This is what the channel has been waiting for. I've had it tough starting this new channel, I tell you now, because I've been in this 8-9 week consolidation phase where I've got no content barely to cover. But we are getting there, guys. I'm nearly at 1,000 subs as well, so I think there's only about 40-50 subs remaining before I hit that target, and they will be remembered as the OGs. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. Let's get these numbers up, and let's collect the cheddar together. So finally, we'll go on to Stronghold as well. I know we've not covered much from Velo, but we'll revisit that in a sec. So again, Stronghold has revisited this. So obviously we've cracked resistance. I'm going to just delete that blue line there. So this blue line initially was resistance. Obviously got rejection. We smashed resistance. Went flying up again within 2 week period. This is why these three coins are mayhem. Because within 2 weeks, you're looking at 350% gains within 2 weeks. Look at all these weeks that go by, like nothing happens. It's absolute snore city out here. Then once this price gets moving, boy, does it move. It shifts like shit off a shovel, doesn't it? Let's be honest. But the price has come down to retest this first impulse. We've had one impulse, two impulse. We've had this healthy correction here to retest impulse one, and we will be going into the third impulse. Whether or not price continues to play out until we crack this sort of red trend line, because I believe we could play out for a number of weeks here, maybe even till like late August, late July, beginning of August, we will be looking at that third impulse. Now, if I was just to do a measured move, bearing in mind Stronghold can go a lot higher, even if I just do like a measured move here, including the wick, you're looking at about 2.5 cents, which again would be a 430% gain. So we're looking at some incredible gains here for Stronghold. Stronghold hasn't really got a lot of data on this particular exchange that I'm holding. So that would be my conservative target, around 2.5 cents. For now, as mentioned, Stronghold can go a lot higher. Now let's just revisit Velo quickly. We are coming up to the 10-minute mark on the video, so I will be looking at wrapping up. But again, you can just see, this is why I hate covering Velo, because the price action down here is so insignificant. My charts don't really pick it up that well. But this would be my first sort of target here, up at this purple sort of range box here. So I'd be looking at getting up there, and the reason being, again, this is like a measured move. So if we take the bottom 50% to the top of that wick, 50% on the top with this wick, double that, it takes us into that purple region, 350% returns. So again, Velo's got some decent interim gains to be had, and it looks like we've already completed the correction now. Again, we've got higher targets for Velo. Obviously, there's more data on this exchange, so for me, Velo is a lot easier to sort of project as opposed to Stronghold, which is why I like Velo so much, because price does tend to go where price has previously been. historically. So I know Velo is more than capable of getting back up here. Again, one peak, two peak, three peak. So there's no reason why we can't start hitting these peaks. Now I would be inclined actually to draw another sort of target down here at this weekly close here, around 94 cents for Velo. So that would be a decent target here. So if we draw through here, you get that capitulation. Then we flip resistance into support, and then you got this red candle here, bounce, and then that's where you make that second peak. So yeah, I'm going to leave that blue horizontal line in there because that would be an interesting sort of price. Where I'd be interested to see where price reacts there, personally. But again, let's just measure the returns from current price. This is it. You literally there's that much gains to be had. You literally can't fit it all on the screen. And I know this is going at you. Let me just scroll up. Look at the state. Wow. So you got first target, second target, third target up here, 9,400%. And then obviously you've got this sort of final, you got weekly close there, weekly close on P2. So again, 1,700% or 17,000%. Wow, let's get calculator out. Let's wrap the video up. Bam, 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 bam. Let's say it again. So we've got $5,000 in there, plus 1,700%, 850k return if we get up to these weekly closes, plus your initial 855k. Jesus Christ. Now I got to make sure this is accurate down here as well, guys, because I think that's fairly accurate. I could probably go a bit higher current close. It's literally only a millimetre, but it makes all the difference in terms of gains. So you can see here we come down to 16,000, so we nearly lost 1,000%. But who cares? You're making 160x there on current price action, just because I think Velo's actually dipped about. It's dipped a little bit, hasn't it, recently in the last day or two. Well, it's up 4% on the 24 hours, down 27% on the weekly. So it's still a massive, still early days for Velo, and that is where the returns, and that is where you're going to collect the cheddar with Velo, in my opinion, guys. So good luck anyway, because the bull market is pretty much here. As I've already mentioned, the Ethereum ETF is almost here in the next couple of weeks, and that will be the catalyst certainly for the altcoin season. We are pretty much here, guys. We are here to collect the cheddar. We've also got interest rates. They will be cut come September as well. So this next quarter is going to be absolutely absurd in terms of gains. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, guys, if you're not already. If you enjoy the content, make sure you give us a thumbs up as well. Thanks for tuning in, guys, as always. Block Bull over and out.